Hi, today I'd like to share our project on Bitcoin market analysis and price prediction. We've worked on analyzing real data from different sources and built a model to predict Bitcoin's short-term price trend. Here's what we'll go through today. We'll start with a quick project overview, including what we wanted to learn and where we got our data. Then we'll move into some key analysis findings, including market trends, risks, and sentiment signals. After that, we'll explain how we build our price prediction model and how will it performed. We'll also show our model's prediction for the next 7 days. Finally, we'll share what we learned, the model's limitations, and finish with the conclusion and the key takeaways. The main goal of our project was to understand how Bitcoin behaves, especially in the short term, and see if we could predict the price using both technical and sentiment data. We collected our data using APIs from multiple sources, including historical price data from Yahoo Finance, real-time market metrics from CoinJungle, and the sentiment indicators from Reddit, CryptoCompare, and CoinPaprika. We also used the Fear and Greed Index to capture market mood. All this gave us a pretty solid foundation to work with. Before jumping into analysis, we did some basic validation of our dataset. We collected 5 years of Bitcoin data of 1,800 days and confirmed that there were no missing values. Bitcoin's price moved a lot from below $7,000 to over $109,000. We also compared price from Yahoo and CoinJungle and find only a 0.18% difference, which gave us confidence in the quality of our data. When we look at the overall market trends, we find that Bitcoin trends to go through strong upward movements followed by big corrections. We also analyzed the volatility and the risk and saw that during peak periods, the 30 days volatility was quite high. There were also big drop downs with drops of more than 20% happening over just a few days. We used moving averages and Bollinger Bands to track these patterns visually, and this helped us later in model building. Now let's take a quick look at market sentiment. We analyzed the news and social media, including Reddit and CoinDesk. The overall sentiment score was slightly positive at 0.09, with a confidence score of 0.70. As shown in the pie chart, about 46% of posts were neutral, with positive and negative sentiment nearly balanced. The Fear and Greed Index was 43, showing the market is cautious but not extremely fearful. We also look at the top keywords include Bitcoin, halving, and SEC, reflecting interest in price and regulation. Interestingly, despite only mild optimism, Bitcoin rose 3.3% in the last 24 hours, showing that while sentiment doesn't predict price directly, it helps us understand the overall market mood. Okay, let's end off my part. Now, Learning will walk you through our model design, predictions, and the key results.
Thank you, Tracy. Let's talk about the feature we use to train our price prediction models. For our model training, we engineered in 5 types of features. We included sentiment data from news, Reddit, plus the fear grade index, plus the future like returns and volatility capture market movements. We also added the volume trends, technical indicator like RSI and MACD, and time-based singles like what day of the week it is. Together, this feature help our models better understand both the market behavior and mood. Model and evaluation here we tested 2 main models, linear regression and LSTM, which is a deep learning model that works well for time series data. Here is the result. Linear regression has the highest R squared at 0.8916. LSTM also performs well, and but was more sensitive to volatility. The ensemble models balanced both with an R squared 0.8906 and slightly better error control overall. This chart shows that the orange line, the ensemble prediction, closely follows the actual price. As for futures, Bollinger Bands and price momentum has the most impact according to linear regression weights. Training went smoothly. The system confirms that both models completed successfully and prediction was generated without issues. With the model evaluated, we tested its ability to predict real prices using the ensemble models. We forecasted Bitcoin prices from April 12th to April 18th. The model shows a small drop in the first few days, a rise on day 6, and a slight decline again. The prediction high is about a 85,000, and prediction lows is about $80,000, and prediction average is about 82,000, and currency price is 83,000. In this chart, the rate that dash lines trade the forecast and it closely follow the trend with a bias of minus the 8.83% and duration accuracy of 77.4%. The model performs the reliable even in the volatile markets. Here is a quick reflection on what I learned and limitations I noticed. First, combined model like linear regression and STM rarely improvements prediction stability. Future energy, especially technical indicators like RSI and Bollinger Bands, make a big difference. Sentiment ethic contest, though it wasn't as strong on its own for predictions. As for limitations, LSTM took more time to train and was sensitive to overfitting. Also, sentiment scores can be biased by keywords and sources. And finally, short-term prediction work together than trying to forecast further out. In conclusion, even though the Bitcoin is volatile, we find that it still shows patterns. By combining sentiment, technical indicator, and different models, we improve prediction accuracy. But our ensemble models prove reliable for short-term forecasting. Thank you for your time and listening. That's it. If you have any questions, you can contact us.